Thank you so much. Welcome to this talk. Thank you so much for coming out in this cold weather. Feel free to interrupt us at any point. Like, we can have a conversation, ask us questions, and find out what. Because the journey is so long, there's so much to talk about. So guide us what you want to hear about. We are currently doing a walk from Mpumalanga all the way to Cape Town. So we started in Mpondo, what used to be called Piet Retief. We sort of made our way inland towards Lesotho, and then didn't go into Lesotho. We came down south, down to Kokstad, and then from Kokstad we went into the Transkei and into Coffee Bay. From Coffee Bay we walked along the beach all the way to
East London.
East London, and then from East London we started walking a bit more inland again, mostly on the N2, all the way to pretty much we turned off of the N2 from Heidelberg,
Yes.
And then we've made our way to Barrydale yesterday. Yesterday we came through the pass, and from here we'll be going to Montague, and then Ashton, and then Worcester, and I think straight down to Cape Town.
Yes.
But we might turn off to Stellenbosch instead. It just depends. The road changes from time to time. So when we started this journey, we spent about 4 months planning the whole thing out, and we had like the whole route figured out, but also kind of new things will change, but ultimately it changed quite a lot.
Right.
Actually, originally we were going to go around the north of Lesotho, and then we ended up going around because we wanted to go through the Transkei. It seemed really, really nice. So we're doing this walk for gender-based violence. In other words, we're not sponsored or affiliated with any NGOs or NPOs or any organizations or anything. We simply tell people about these places, like for example FAMSA and Tears Foundation. We spread awareness about them because people don't know that support is out there. People don't realize that there's the police station and the hospital that you can go to, but there's more available. And besides these organizations, every village, every town, everywhere we go, we find people doing things, just normal people at home doing things to support their community, offering meals, offering safe places to stay, and that those are the people that inspire us, and those are the people that we also support and
to push forward.
Yeah.
There's been a few places and a few individuals we've met along the way that we would like to give a bit more face to purely because of the work they do. And these are the people we're trying to create a network for so they can support each other, whether it's you guys here in Barrydale and 1 week you've got an excess of bread, but then East London's got an excess of soup kitchen supplies. You swap over. That's what we're trying to do, is help the people that are already creating and helping those around them in their own communities.
Yeah, that's more of a long-term project of connecting people together. But those are the people that we support and what we stand for. So we also do quite a bit of public talks, speaking to people who have gone through situations. And our big message for them is, or for communities, is to look after each other, So when we hear something happening or we see something, then we need to say something, we need to do something, and we need to take some action, And it starts even in a simple way. We know a lot of like joking around happening and that kind of stuff. Sometimes it becomes uncomfortable, but we kind of keep it to ourselves. But like, especially guys, when we talk to when our guys are saying something like that, we should really call it out, because ultimately, eventually, something might happen, and then you sit with a what if, because you recognize red flags, but you didn't say something, and it could have maybe been prevented, you know. And that's a systemic thing. It's a thing of how different cultures in South Africa, all through the classes and race system and everything in South Africa, it's spread around there. It feels like a cultural thing, but it's all of us, you know, and it's painful. Actually, it's painful. Yeah. The second part of that message is also for people to reach out to their community when they need help, when they need support. You know, you have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't know. And the worst thing that can happen is there's nobody and they say no, then you move on and you can ask someone else maybe, you know. But if you don't ask, if you don't say you're going through something, then nobody's going to be there to support you because they don't even know that you need that support. So those are the main points regarding that. Yeah.
Tell us about your website. You've got a little website that you
We've got a little website that we made quite a while ago. It needs some updating at the moment. I'm quite worried about it because it's running slow and it sometimes it doesn't want to load. So I need to look into that actually. It's called storiesinbetween.co.za. There's a blog on there. There's some information on what our walk is about and that kind of stuff. All of our social media links are on there, and we also have like a funding page on there for people to donate, which then goes to these people in communities
that we've met along the way. Yeah.
How do you fund yourselves?
So a lot of care from the community. We also ask for people. So we would, for example, rather support a family and then have a plate of food with them, you know, as an example, or have like camping in their garden. We camped in a lot of gardens, and just on farms that the farmers don't know about, or just off the road, or these kinds of stuff. So we kind of go from place to place, and it's kind of always an in the moment thing. Like wherever we land at a town, there we might go around some shops, and we've got that form that we do some collections, donations. If we connect it with anybody there, then that goes there, or we need to buy some bread, you know. Like our meals are also pretty simple. That might come out of that as well then. So that's usually like instant porridge, that the sorghum varieties, like so like Morvite or Yum Yum. You know, it's like a pro-nutro variant, but it's made from sorghum, so it's more nutrient for us. And then a lot of bread and chips and cookies, so a lot of sweet stuff and carbs also go. That's more like our daily on-the-road snack, you know, when we take a break and we might have a piece of bread and some, you know. And
we do a lot of pastas for dinners, and
swims.
We've had quite a few spots where when we stop somewhere, Barrydale has been the best with offering meals for us. It's been amazing. But we'll often get to places and somebody will be like, okay, but you guys got here pretty late. Are you sure you want to make something? Can we offer you something? People want to do good. It's pretty much in our blood, and South Africans are amazingly kind people. You can be going through the middle of the Transkei to being somewhere in the suburbs. You literally just have to ask somebody. And that's the biggest challenge a lot of people struggle with, is that initial asking, because of the stigma behind asking and how we're taught. But you can go to anyone at any point in your life and go, hey, I'm sorry to bother you about this. Can you maybe just help me with something to eat? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. They'll feed you.
So would you like walk and arrive in a town or a village and try and make it before night break, obviously? You've got quite,
we wouldn't want to stay in a town when it gets dark. unless there's a safe space that we've arranged with someone. So say like we're camping in someone's garden or someone offered us a room, then we'll stay in the town for the night. Otherwise, we make our way out of town before nightfall because it's just safer outside of the town, you know. And we're on the maps the whole time, so we know like there's a spot over there, and do I still have enough energy to do another 10 kilometers? Then we might be able to reach that spot, you know. If not, then let's just stay here and take an early day today, because we need to like hide ourselves away sometimes for
you say
bedtime.
that most of your time you were not visible at night.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When
No.
Do you at least carry a weapon, or are you armed?
We do not carry any weapons. No, we carry a positive heart.
And I don't want it to sound like we're overly positive. We were very, very aware of the risks and the dangers in South Africa. We are South African. We are aware. But I think also moving through spaces as quickly as we move through, one, we don't draw enough attention to be a bother. And two, if you're going to hold a sense of fear about you the whole time, that is what you're going to. Mm-hmm. And I think going through the Transkei was a big point of showing us people are not as scary as we've been taught that people are. People are good.
Yeah. Have you had any sort of scary moments?
I think the scariest moment was actually
when your foot went septic.
Yeah. And I had lots of tick bites, and I was really scared.
Yeah.
So many. I think like at least 10 a day we would pull off of me. Those tiny little ones. I had
the salt and pepper ticks.
very so many ticks. I've never had something like that. I did not, but all my lymph nodes, like it swelled up, and like I said, my foot went septic. It started going like black.
From what was that though?
I think that like we had spider bites and tick
Spiders,
bites, and I don't know what else. I think I might have. Yeah, I don't know what else, but it started from like a point just above my big toe, and then there was another point just above my little toe, and they sort of made a triangle up here that just went up. Yeah, and I was quite. That was quite scary.
Did you get antibiotics?
So that was like right towards the end of the Transkei. I felt like the Transkei didn't want to say goodbye to us, and we didn't really want to say goodbye to that, because that was really probably the most challenging part of the journey so far, but also the most rewarding, most beautiful part of this journey so far. And as soon as we got over the Kai River in the first town called Camel, we went to see a nurse, and she gave me actually 2 different antibiotics that I did in the course through. And after that, it did quite well. We also took a break there in Camel for, I think, like 5 days.
Yeah. But we also had to wait for the swelling to go down, because besides it being dark, it was swollen
really
out
swollen.
pretty big. It was,
Yeah.
But that's been the scariest moment
And you've injured your rib. That was also quite.
I had a bruised rib, but a rib is a rib. You've kind of got to just let it do its thing.
Can't really do anything. Yeah. So that made us move a bit slow and take it easy for a while as well.
So how long has the whole journey taken you?
We've started in September, so that's like 6 months now, 7 months.
7 months.
I don't know.
So we stopped in Coffee Bay for 2 months over festive season, because we don't like traveling during holidays. There's too many people. It's too
9 months.
2 months.
Yeah, it's
so
9
if
months.
you take that out, the walking, we've done 7 months of walking and 2 months of rest, essentially.
So you have careers as well?
Oh yeah, but like in normal world, I'm a programmer, I'm a software developer. Sasha is a writer.
I'm a writer. I prefer ghostwriting, because that means I don't have to commit to a whole project. I can just do enjoyable things along the way. But I have been considering writing a book about this walk in particular.
Yeah.
Did you meet other people doing something similar on a bicycle? Or?
I mean, there are 2 people apparently right here in this room tonight. So that was quite lovely to meet Anu tonight.
You did the cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you do something?
No. It was sorry, I forgot your name, brother. George. Right. So yeah, it's been really inspirational. It's been really amazing to spend the afternoon with Anu and having someone that we could speak eye to eye to and understand. Like, you see my world, I see your world. You know, there are some things that you can't really. I mean, you can discuss with people, but you don't really understand. You know, like, do you like you. I suppose we all know how far 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers is, but like, once you've walked it a couple of times, you know, it's yeah.
So would you say that you're both very fit as a result?
I think we're quite fit.
Fit in the walking department.
And I
mean,
think
different
we also,
sports, different muscles.
yeah,
It's
and I think we're also quite strong.
strong.
We've gotten very strong, yeah.
So how heavy are your rucksacks?
So the rucksacks, I think they average around 20. Like, there's different parts of the journey. Like, we dropped some weight just in Nature's Valley. Before that, we actually measured them in Port Elizabeth, in
Yes.
and mine was 26 and yours was 24. Yeah,
Now they're about 17 and maybe about 22.
I don't know. Yeah.
So you got tents and you got.
Yeah, we carry our home. Sasha carries most of our home supplies. She's got the tent down there, and there's some blankets and bedding. And me, I carry most of the. I carry some technology, and I carry the clothes, most of the clothes. Yeah, another blanket and warm stuff, food as well. I also sorry.
Do you carry your basic first aid kits, that type of thing?
We've got a basic fishing kit as well that we haven't yet tried.
Yeah, got the chance to it.
Yeah, we got that. We should have had that earlier, actually.
Yeah.
We've not had a chance to try that one out yet.
And if you decided to donate pepper spray kits, would you carry that?
I don't know.
Should you be running on faith or anything like that?
I don't think
No.
it's faith.
No, I mean, like, I think there's a difference. Like, once I put that bag on, you can come and take the bag from me. But like, I think I'm gonna be at an advantage. You know, like, if you take the bag from me, you're not gonna run very fast, and I think that's pretty much the situation, you know. I'm used to it, you know.
Also, when you've been walking for a couple of kilometers, you look rough. You're smelly. People don't really want to bother with you.
You were saying earlier that you've learned a lot through this journey. Are there things that you would have done differently, or?
There are definitely things that I would have done differently. But I mean, also, I don't regret anything the way that we did it, because this was exactly our journey and exactly our story that we're telling. So yeah, that's it. The next journey will have differences, and we'll have more focus on certain things, you know. Maybe make that gap a bit smaller. I don't know. We got a bit paranoid about, do people know exactly where we are and that kind of stuff. So now we're like a few weeks behind. Maybe we want some more interactive socials, that type of stuff. Yeah. Food-wise, also, I think like those changes, the big important changes have been implemented. Like, we got a really nice little gas cooker. It's a gas cooker that fits in my pocket. I can't believe it. Yeah, someone gifted it to us. It just screws onto a little gas canister, and we can make a pot of food or make some coffee or something. But it's or the ground sail. That's small things that we've learned that we could implement.
I don't think we would have known those things unless we went through what we went through. So I feel like it does prepare us better for a new project. Or anything else we want to work on, because we've been out there, but we've also been speaking to the people and moved through places. It does make it it gives you extra information that other people don't have because you've gone through that.
Yeah.
I think sleeping under the stars every night must be quite special. There's a whole different way of seeing the world.
Yeah. There's definitely something special to that, finding a good spot to sleep, and then waking up in nature, usually, with beautiful views. There's like, I don't know. As soon as you go out of the town, there are just such beautiful views in nature, and it's amazing to wake up with that. Yeah,
I think the
but it
waking
can
up
also
more
get
so
it can also
than the
get quite
sleeping.
intense. Yeah, like exactly.
Because by the time you're done
walking.
walking, you're so exhausted that you set up and you pass out.
Yeah.
That's it. So when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh wow, that's actually quite pretty. Missed the whole thing last night.
Yeah. I mean, there was days where we went to sleep before the sun went down. It's just so exhausted, and then wake up again before the sun comes up so that we're ready to carry on again. And
your average day, or did it vary quite a lot?
So it varies quite a lot depending where we are, what the terrain is like, what the weather is like, what our food levels are like. I would say maybe an average of 20 to 30, but then sometimes it's really like 5 or 10, because sometimes you wake up and I'm like, I do not feel like walking. I can't carry on. Like let's just look. There's trees. Trees.
Go swim for the day.
No. Sometimes it's not just a physical thing either. It's a very mental or a spiritual, like emotional thing as well. So when you can't boost yourself, you need to just sit and I don't know. Sometimes even wallow in your misery. Because I would not have been able to do this without Sasha. I'm sure you wouldn't.
Vice versa. I don't think I would have been able to do this at all.
Yeah, I think that's quite a thing.
Yeah.
Compared to yours
being by yourself. Yeah.
It's a different, because I've travelled a lot to many countries and mostly on my own.
Right. Yeah.
I started when I was 16 to travel, and you really have to be so alert and not scared, not afraid, but everything you do on
Pay
your own.
attention.
So totally self-dependent.
Yeah. A moment can change everything.
You've got a good friend that you can trust and you can, do you please you look after the luggage, I need to go and make a wee.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Or it starts raining, one of us make a fire, the other one pitch the tent, it's
so
normally...
imagine that you can help support each other to get through.
Yeah.
So how did you decide upon this whole journey? When did it just dawn on you that this was going to be something to do?
So, for me, I've had an idea of wanting to walk across South Africa from like Cape Town area to like Joburg area, something to that effect, since I was very young. Right? It's just been an idea, but it kind of came together for us because we've now been traveling together for about 4 years, doing various different projects, from a farm place or like go and run a backpackers or like just all kinds of. We love experiencing new things. We love learning new things. We love meeting people and tasting new food and all of those things. So. We've been doing that for about 4 years together now, and we decided we want to start sharing this with people. We want to start sharing it online because it's really beautiful experiences in places where you don't expect it. It's usually when we end up feeling at our lowest and at our most desperate and just like done with it, then something amazing happens. It's just it's the type of stuff you can't even describe the word. It's like it's been really, really good like that. So those are the type of things that we wanted to start sharing. But through our travels, through our meeting lots of different people, we've also had this prevalent thing of gender-based violence coming up in different forms in all the different communities. So not only do we want to say like, yeah, South Africa or the world is beautiful, people are amazing,
Yeah.
but there are things happening, you know, and they are like, just like how I said, we're not completely naive. We don't carry a weapon, but we're not completely naive that bad things don't happen, you know. It just so happens that so far on the journey, I've not even felt threatened once, you know. And if I'm thinking about it, probably humans are the biggest danger for us, you know. But humans have also been our biggest support. So I can't just say like, out of all of these hundreds towns that I went to go visit, maybe one might give me an attack or something might happen. Like something might happen, you know. I'm not blind to that. And when it happens, it will happen, and we will have to just move on from that as well. Because like I've crossed rivers and I've climbed mountains and I've faced people, so it will happen. But that's one time in how many kilometers? You know, more than 2,000 kilometers already. Yeah. So that's actually why I say I walk with a good heart, you know, because humanity is beautiful.
So how did you choose gender-based violence instead of like AIDS or cancer or something like that?
It's our biggest problem in South Africa.
Yeah.
If I've not asked the question to one woman and received the answer no back when I've asked, have you been part of gender-based violence in any way, shape or form? Have you? Whether it's a relationship or an incident, every single woman I've ever asked that question to. And then also, surprisingly, more than half the men that I've asked that question to as well. Men are not comfortable talking about it because there's the stigma. You're handled differently by other men regarding that.
I've had a girlfriend in Cape Town that was experiencing gender-based violence with her boyfriend. I mean, we just had a group of guys get together and go and stand outside his house.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Put the pressure on this guy.
Exactly.
And,
this is.
Eventually, she managed to get away from him, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this happened a couple of times in Cape Town where we've actually had to get a group of guys together to go and put pressure on this guy for stopping, the sexual thing from happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you've got a core sort of support of good guys behind you.
That's it.
Then you've got.
Not many people have that support structure.
This is why we are pushing for communities to do this so much, because it's difficult, especially when poverty and alcohol and drugs and just like these things make it really, really difficult, but ultimately the community needs to look after each other, and we need to ask our community to look after us as well. Because, like I said earlier, I think you can go to the hospital, you can go to the police station, and it's necessary. You should do those things, but also understand that that's just a person doing their job, and they're not getting paid great. So it's in most cases not even really someone who wants to be doing that job. They just kind of need to get through the paperwork,
And also you become desensitized in those fields of work, because I may be the most extreme thing that's happened to me today, but you've dealt with 15 to 150 of me in the same day with that same bad experience. So
it's difficult to maintain that, and at that point you really, really do need compassion, you need understanding.
I know that the police station here, I've been here for quite a long time, and I know you say, maybe 16 years ago, there was a trauma unit next to as part of the police station.
Right.
I don't know, would you know if it still exists?
I know there's a CIC section and there's someone working there with people, so I don't remember their name, but I know there's someone there working on those things. But it's also it's a thing that you get. Any hospital is also supposed to have an area. It's actually part of our legislation for GBV prevention that happened in 2016, and so those places are there, but it's also it takes a toll on these people because it's a difficult job, you know. So we need understanding from everybody. So I actually ultimately just be a nice person, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just treat everybody. You don't know a person's story, so it's like treat everybody nicely and understand like that person is like you know. It's like they feel like you know. They live, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful talk.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you
your
for
message
having
gets
us.
out far and wide.
Yeah.
You just
Thank
hold
you
up
so
your
much.
poster.
A poster.
So this is your poster. So if anybody wants to actually donate any money, there is the website at the bottom.
The website isn't black, but you
Tell
can
them
come
what
and
it
get
is
it.
again.
storiesinbetween.co.za.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Take it you've got a place to sleep tonight.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Dung Beetle has actually offered us our second night here because they were worried we might not have a spot for the weather.
Yeah. They asked, are you still okay with the weather?
I know it sounds like we're promoting Barrydale, but it feels like Barrydale has been
It's been
wonderful.
very awesome. No, it's been very, very
Well done,
awesome.
Barrydale.
Support.
Thank you, Barrydale.